Germany or
Greece?
No, I went directly to Rome.
Okay.
I think, and then we stopped in Ireland when we got on the way
Oh,
back.
that used to be part of the deal too, because of the
We
founder.
stopped in Ireland.
So, yeah.
And Ireland was great.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was.
We went to a house, Nice.
Yeah.
What the heck is it? N-A-I-S-E or N-A-I-S.
Yeah, some people pronounce it Nice, some pronounce it Nice.
And you know,
It's a nice place.
the place.
I'm sorry. Good. Or a nice place.
You got me laughing again. I'll lose the thought now.
Anyway, you went to Nice, and
And the first thing they did was take out a bottle and everybody
Oh.
had a drink.
yes.
Every-
And it
wherever
was
you
probably
went-
at 10 o'clock in the morning, right? I mean, that's the way they are.
Yes.
That's their way of showing hospitality.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah,
When you took your final vows, was there any struggle for you at that time?
Anxiety. I was anxious to make them. I finally have made it.
But you weren't concerned about the decision?
in the
My
sense,
own mind. No. No.
You didn't
Thanks be to
struggle
God.
at all?
No. The only thing I was afraid of, somebody who knew me well enough would have written in against me. But I snuck under the wire.
Now you took final vows in 19.
Let me see.
Yeah, here we go.
Just before I went to California. So that was 1949.
1949. Okay. And how many guys took vows that year? Took final vows.
Kevin Fish, Vianney Corrigan, myself. Who else? I can't remember the other
Not
guy.
Doug, no.
Huh?
Doug?
No, Doug was after us.
Oh, he was after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And where did you take them? In just in a house? I mean, you didn't all take them together, no?
No.
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 Right. That came later, where you brought the whole group back
Yes,
and you
right.
did final vows in one place rather than Okay.
Isn't that in West Park or something like that?
Well, we used to take them in Essex, Catholic,
Sure.
because we had the 13 who took final vows. The
Are
13.
your relatives allowed to go to this?
Oh,
or is it a
yes,
private thing?
yes.
I took mine in West Park because I was in Farley,
Oh well.
and I
okay.
went to West Park and took final vows there, and then the next morning I was shipped to California.
Oh wow.
Practically the next morning,
Oh, wow.
anyway. 2 mornings.
Yeah, family. Well, at least with me, families were allowed to come when we took final vows. I guess with you as well. No.
I think it was open. I don't know if anybody availed themselves of
Okay.
it.
Yeah. See, we made a big deal of it by the time we took final vows in
Good idea.
1969. Yeah, the families came, and it was a big celebration. I mean, we had hundreds of people there.
Yeah.
Because you had 13 guys.
Nice.
So you had big families, and it was at Essex, because they had that big, really like a cathedral in Essex.
You know, when we'd have the visiting days, my mother, because we had no car, but my mother did have a few friends, and my dad too had a few friends, and before she died, she came up to visit, and she came up with Mrs. Byer one time, Teddy's mother, and of course, P.J. Ryan had made his famous cocktail. It had everything in it. But let me digress for just a moment. we got to be the mixers, like fairy godmothers and so on. In this huge
Pot?
pan, you'd wash dishes in.
Oh.
Huge pan. And we sat there, and all we had to do is stir. He was on one side stirring, I was on the other side stirring, and PJ Ryan would jump, booze in there.
Oh my God.
There were 3 kinds of alcohol, and grenadine, and so forth. I don't know what the rest of the thing was. We weren't allowed to taste it, of course.
Of course.
I didn't even try. As I said, he's liable to walk in.
With your luck, he probably would have, yes.
I wouldn't give him my luggage. Anyway. Well, anyway, we did that, and my mother came up with Mrs. Byer. Mrs. Byer had some one of her relatives or somebody come up to West Park, and Teddy was there at the time too. So they were sitting outside in the lawn, and of course the brothers who didn't have visitors were serving them, and they came, my mother rarely if ever drank anything alcoholic. So he says, they give you a little wine glass full of this stuff. And he gives, Mrs. Byer, of course, said no thanks. She would never touch alcohol.
Not past these lips.
But my mother, well, she didn't take much at all on herself. But she sipped it. And she says, Nora, if he comes around again, take it, I'll drink it. I said, Mom, you'd have to take you out in a stretcher.
Were you close to your mother?
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
When you went into the brothers, did you discuss it with her first?
Oh, yeah, of course I did. Well, they always figured, I always talking about the brothers, you know, and this brother, that brother. Well, we had brothers, I had brothers from 5th grade through high school. So you were constantly with them. And I had the greatest admiration for them. So it was a very easy decision to make.
But do you remember when you made the decision and who you talked to about it?
Yes. I think the seed started growing. It was always there. Started growing when I was in 3rd year high school. And I got to 4th year high school. They come around vacation week, you know, and so forth. So whom did I approach first? Oh no, this was when I was a sophomore. I went to my religion teacher, who was Cal Cusson.
Right.
And he advised me, I was only 13 years old, and he advised me to wait until I graduated.
Okay.
Well, Paddy Riley was kind of angry about that because he was teaching me in grammar school and they wanted me to go then because they used to take them.
Yeah, sure.
And I had postponed it. So he was kind of PO'd about it, as they say.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully to God, it never left me.
Yeah.
And I got into senior year, then I said, okay, this is it. So I went to whom did I go? Oh, I went to Tom Perry.
Oh, okay.
And I told him, I asked him, and he set up the whole thing for me.
Oh, okay.
And he used to refer to it. He'd say, now there are some of you are going to colleges here and there, and he said, but there are some who are not going to be lost in the
fold, in the fold.
And I would turn myself
hide under the seat.
Well, the other guys didn't know.
They didn't know what he was talking about.
And I wasn't going to tell them
either.
Did you have any family that didn't support it, that didn't want you to go in?
No, I think they all figured. See, my older brothers went to Commerce High School.
All Commerce, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I, from the goodness of the pastor, got to go to Power. I remember the first day I went to Commerce High School, it was just for an orientation thing. I was scared out of my wits. I was a little guy. I was only, I'm still a little guy, but I made up for the other difference. But I said to myself, gee, I'm not going to enjoy this. But then finally it came through on graduation day. I got a medal of some kind, anyway. The pastor of the school, Father Scully, I don't know if you remember Scully. He became a bishop.
It's certainly a name that people have talked about, right. Bishop Scully, yeah.
He was very good, Sacred Heart. And he told my mother to bring me up to the residence, priest residence, the next day, so she did. And he said, we want him to go to Power.
Okay.
So she said, all right. She didn't want me to go because I had to travel by train and everything else, and I was here again. But
was Power the flagship school?